Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday afternoon, November 26th. Looks like a snow event for much of the Mid-Atlantic region on Tuesday into Tuesday evening. It's not a major storm, but nonetheless there can be some accumulations, especially on non-paved surfaces in the northern and western suburbs of the big cities along the I-95 corridor. There are some interesting trends that we will have to follow over the next 12 to 24 hours or so. And we'll take a look at what's going on in the atmosphere right now, as well as some interesting trends in some of the computer forecast models. We have the latest 12Z model runs, and we'll go over some of that over the next few minutes. First of all, in terms of what's going on in the atmosphere right now, there's an area seen here. This is a water vapor loop from the Penn State EWAL site, and there's some clouds associated with some rainfall here and an upper level shortwave right along the Texas-Mexican border region here. And this is perhaps going to play a role over the next 12 to 24 hours in some intensification of this weak system right now that ends up in the western Atlantic by later on tomorrow. But there are some signs that it could intensify at the last minute, late tomorrow into tomorrow evening, once it approaches the western Atlantic. There's some convection right now breaking out here in the northern Gulf region from Louisiana across Mississippi and Alabama, and both of these areas could actually play a role in some of the intensification that could occur with this coastal system at the end of the day tomorrow into tomorrow evening. And here's the latest radar loop showing some rainfall here along the Texas-Mexican border. And the bottom line here is the models seem to be underdoing this a little bit, and that could play a role over the next 12 to 24 hours or so in the eventual intensification of this coastal system that will end up in the western Atlantic later on tomorrow. Well, now let's take a look at some of the latest computer forecast model information. This is from the 12Z NAM model run. And what we see here in the next slide as well will show the accumulated snowfall from the coolweather.com website. And this is for this upcoming event, and the NAM model, which is seen right here, shows quite an impressive little area here across southeastern Pennsylvania, maybe from Lancaster County or all the way as far west as Harrisburg, across southeastern Pennsylvania into the interior part of central New Jersey. The NAM model has been more robust in terms of precipitation and potential snowfall compared to the GFS model, and it continues to be that way. However, we'll show in a moment or two that the GFS may be showing some signs of a trend more towards the NAM model run than the other way around. Again, this is the accumulated snowfall. The heaviest area in here is on the order of maybe 0.6, 0.7 inches of liquid equivalent, which would be a substantial snowfall, perhaps 6 or 7 inches. Again, this is kind of an outlier here, but the trend continues from the NAM model run. Now let's take a look at the GFS, and here's the same time frame, basically the total snowfall, accumulated snowfall for this upcoming event, and quite a bit less in terms of total snowfall here, perhaps on the order of 1, 2, or maybe even 3 inches here across south central PA into southeastern PA. So still, the NAM model here is much more robust in terms of accumulated snowfall compared to the GFS model, but let's show now some subtle differences in the very latest GFS model run. Well, now let's take a look at the GFS model run in terms of the change, the subtle change in the very latest run compared to last night's run. This is the 0Z GFS model run for tomorrow night, Tuesday night. And just notice here the low pressure area well off the coast here, heaviest precipitation band already pulling off the east coast as of tomorrow night. Again, this is from last night's 0Z GFS model run. Now let's compare that to the very latest 12Z model run for the same time frame tomorrow evening. And here's the difference. This from last night's 0Z model run to this from the very latest model run. Basically, it looks like a little bit of an intensification is going on compared to the prior model run here. The heaviest precipitation is holding back south and west of the system here in the very latest 12Z model run. And again, let's go back and forth. This is last night's model run to this morning's model run for Tuesday evening. And again, there's a little bit more robust in terms of precipitation. This could be the beginnings of a trend more in line with the NAM model run, and we'll of course monitor that situation over the next 12 to 24 hours or so. But it's just an interesting trend to point out here that there's perhaps some intensification that will occur at the last minute, late tomorrow into tomorrow night, and hang back the precipitation a little bit longer, most likely in the form of snow, by the way, at this time, as colder air slowly seeps in. And this could affect southeastern Pennsylvania across southern New Jersey and central New Jersey. So we'll continue to monitor that and the change in the trend here for the GFS over the next couple of model runs. Well, one last model map I'd like to show right here is the Canadian model. This is from the 12Z Canadian model run. This shows the precipitation type for about the middle part of the morning tomorrow. And notice here this little yellow area here. I'll just draw an arrow where that shows up. That represents kind of a mixture, or the rain-snow line as depicted by this very latest Canadian model run. The blues here indicate where the snow will be, and the darkest blues right in this region right here indicate some potentially pretty decent snowfall rates here, perhaps an inch an hour here according to the Canadian model. Again, from south central PA across the northern western suburbs of Philly in southeastern PA and all the way into central New Jersey. So we still have a snow event coming for much of the Mid-Atlantic for tomorrow into tomorrow night. Certainly it's not completely set in stone in terms of final accumulations. 1 to 3 inch snowfall mostly on non-paved surfaces seems like the likely scenario for the northern and western suburbs of Philadelphia and the far northern suburbs of DC, and also the northern and western suburbs of New York City, with lesser amounts in the big cities and points south and east. But again, we'll monitor the possibility of some intensification occurring with this low once it reaches the western Atlantic later tomorrow into tomorrow night. Stay tuned to the SIweather.com. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.